Good afternoon. My name is Chris Rowena, Lead Communication Analyst in Health Workforce Development. We're excited that you have joined us today for the Wellness Coach Scholarship Program, or WCSP, informational webinar. Here's the agenda for today's webinar. I'll be doing some housekeeping and introduction to start us off, followed by a welcome and overview by Dr. Sharmil Shah. She will also do the What is a Certified Wellness Coach section. From there, Program Officer Diana Garcia will go through the program elements, the application process, and evaluation. And after that, we will do a question and answer session with everybody here. Following that, we will do closing remarks and into the webinar for today. Before we begin, I would like to discuss a few housekeeping items. Number one, our webinar is hosted in Microsoft Teams. If you are not familiar with the platform, you can find the view controls and chat feature in the menu bar at the top of your screen. Today, the chat option will be open for asking questions during the Q&A session, which is at the end of this webinar. Number three, the webinar will be recorded and posted on our website in approximately 7 to 10 business days. And with that, I am thrilled to introduce Dr. Sharmil Shah.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Chris, for that warm introduction. Again, want to welcome all of you today and thank you for joining us for the Wellness Coach Scholarship Program webinar. It is my pleasure to welcome all of you. As you know, youth in our communities are struggling with mental health challenges, and the need for prevention-related behavioral health services has never been more crucial as it is today. Children and youth have inadequate and inequitable access to the behavioral health care they need, and we are proud to introduce this new profession that we believe will help address these challenges and be the upstream solution our youth so desperately need. This profession is funded by the Children and Youth Behavioral Health Initiative, whose goal is to transform the systems that support behavioral health and wellness to promote well-being for all children, youth, and their families. This includes preventing and addressing emerging and existing mental, emotional, and behavioral health challenges, including substance use issues and wellness. The Wellness Coach model designed by HCAI focuses on building a public behavioral health workforce that better represents the diversity of California's children and youth. You on this call today as potential applicants are best suited to help us meet these workforce gaps, which will contribute to helping children and youth across our state by increasing our state's overall capacity to support the growing behavioral health needs of our youth. Your participation, not only today, but in the scholarship program, will also help us build a larger and more diverse and representative behavioral health workforce in California. Before we jump into the specifics, I wanted to ground us a bit in our mission. HCAI expands equitable access to quality, affordable health care for all Californians through resilient facilities, actionable information, and the health workforce that each community needs. Next slide, please. And the Office of Health Workforce Development does this by developing, supporting, and expanding a health workforce that, one, serves medically underserved areas, serves Medi-Cal members, and represents the California it serves through racial and language diversity. The office also offers programs that provide financial support for organizations building the workforce pipeline, organizations expanding educational capacity, individuals like you pursuing health careers, and organizations supporting providers and addressing retention. The Wellness Coach Scholarship Program's purpose is to increase the supply of certified wellness coaches in California. We have $50 million available to fund individual scholarships of up to $35,000 annually. And again, this program is funded by the Children and Youth Behavioral Health Initiative, which supports behavioral health professionals to serve children and youth through age 25. Next slide, please. So why wellness coaches and why now? Why are we so focused on this right now? Well, 1 in 4 adolescents suffer from depression and anxiety. Despite a growing need for skilled behavioral health professionals, there is an inadequate supply of workers to keep up with the demand. So California has a big job. We need to expand our behavioral health workforce to better address those unmet needs in our diverse communities. We are creating a behavioral health workforce that provides behavioral health prevention and early intervention services and supports to help children and youth before they need clinical services. So this is an upstream solution. Next slide, please. I want to share this really inspiring video with you to get a better sense and feel of the wellness coach.
It's really important to have somebody just to be there, just to listen.
We absolutely need to be focusing on wellness for all kids.
A certified wellness coach is another one of those folks that can work in the schools, in the after-school programs.
They're someone to look up to, someone to seek advice from.
And they themselves know, like, hey, you've been through it, you're like me, I can too.
Becoming a wellness coach is a great way for us to give back to our communities.
Thank you, Chris. So we're going to do a little bit on what is a certified wellness coach, and I'll do a kind of a quick overview here. Next slide, please. So the wellness coach profession is new. It's a certified position to increase our state's overall capacity to support the growing behavioral health needs of our youth. The wellness coach also supplements and supports existing behavioral health staff, so to fill gaps in the current behavioral health workforce. So it's seen as a support in a whole care team. Wellness coaches offer non-clinical services that support youth behavioral health and well-being in such activities as wellness promotion, education, screening, care coordination, individual and group support, and crisis referral. It's also designed to help build a larger, more diverse and representative behavioral health workforce in California that has the training and supervision that's needed to engage directly with young people where they are. These are some of the certification requirements through the education pathway. So there's the Wellness Coach 1 and the Wellness Coach 2. And then you can see here some of the prerequisites to enter the program. For the Wellness Coach 1, high school diploma, degree required is an associate's degree. Some of the majors accepted are in social work, human services, and addiction studies. And then a 400-hour total field experience will be needed. As opposed to the Wellness Coach 2, you need to have been a Wellness Coach 1 or have an associate's degree. And then the degree required for the 2 is a bachelor's degree in those majors. And then 800 hours are required of field experience. And we'll get into more details later in the presentation. Thank you. These are some of the services and competencies that we're looking for of the certified wellness coach. Some of the services that you as a wellness coach would provide is wellness promotion and education, screening, care coordination and extension, which could also look like making referrals if you come across situations in which they need a larger system of care, individual support, group support, and crisis referral. And then these are some additional competencies, things we hope to see in a wellness coach: cultural responsiveness, humility, and mitigating implicit bias, professionalism, ethics, and legal mandates, communication, and operating in role and different environments. So what does that look like in practice? So you're a wellness coach. Now, what would that look like if you were going to provide wellness promotion and education? I won't go through all of these, but just a few of them. You will provide classroom presentations on mindfulness, social skills, how to deal with stress. You might promote activities to address mental health stigma. You will also serve as a wellness champion on campuses in school-based health centers. In terms of screening, you could support the implementation of universal mental health wellness student screening. You might triage students who need a higher level of care. You would support school-wide wellness promotion activities. Next slide, please. In terms of care coordination and extension, you might support in case management in coordination with behavioral health clinicians. You would navigate needed external referrals. And you would develop strong relationships with internal and external partners to facilitate culturally appropriate service. In terms of individual support, you would support them individually. You could provide emotional support. You could assess students. You could monitor their participation and also conduct some motivational interviewing. Next slide. For group support, you might do some non-clinical skill building groups like anger management, stress management, wellness practices. You could lead or co-lead culturally specific or gender specific groups. And you might serve as a coordinator on some of the other school-based activities. And then in terms of crisis referral, you would participate and be part of a school's crisis response team. You would be trained in youth mental health first aid, and you could participate in postvention activities following a school's tragedy, such as healing circles. So that kind of just gave you a sense of what a wellness coach might do. So with no further ado, I'm going to pass it over to Diana Garcia, who will go into the specifics. Thank you again for your time today.
Good afternoon. I'm Diana Garcia. Thank you, Dr. Shaw, for the introduction. I am going to review the Wellness Coach Scholarship Program, and the professions for the Wellness Coach Scholarship Program include the Certified Wellness Coach 1 and the Certified Wellness Coach 2. Some of the eligible associate and bachelor degrees are included in addiction studies and include the following. There's a social work degree and degrees in human services. And we'll leave the slide up just for a bit so that everyone can see a little bit. Okay, moving on to the next slide, please. The awards, the maximum award for the scholarship is $35,000 per year. Award levels include that HCAI may award full, partial, or no funding to an applicant based on the applicant's criteria score and the amount of available funds. Applicants will be awarded no more than their total cost of attendance for 1 year of the program. These costs can include tuition, fees, and books, transportation, on or off-campus housing and food, loan fees, and dependent care. A service obligation. Within 12 months of graduation, awardees must begin 1 year service obligation, providing direct client care in a qualified work site. Students graduating with an associate degree may defer their service obligation for up to 30 months if they are pursuing a bachelor degree leading to becoming a certified wellness coach 2. Important dates to remember. The application became available on April 9th this year at 3 p.m. The informational webinars today, April 18th at 2 o'clock. The application submission deadline will be on May 24th at 3 o'clock p.m. The anticipated award notice dates will go out July 2024, and then the scholarship grant agreement start date will be in August of 2024. The application process for the Wellness Coach Scholarship Program. There are 9 sections to the application. First section is the general information. Second section, profile information. Then contact information. When contact is required, who does not live in the same household as the applicant. Number 4 is the educational information. Then professional information. Scholarship cost of attendance. Employment history. And the required documents, please ensure you use an acceptable file format or your application will be rejected. Examples of acceptable formats are in .jpg, .doc.docx, and .pdfs. If you have a Mac computer, there may be the need to send the file format in a JPEG or in a document or PIN, preferred over the PDF. But those are the examples of acceptable formats. And the last component, or the last section of the application, is the application certification. Post-award and payment provisions, one of two. So HCAI expects the grantee will begin performance of the grant agreement on the start date listed on the grant award documents. This means that we assume you will begin school in September of 2024. The State Controller's Office mails a paper check directly to the grantee's address on file. Please ensure that HCAI has your most current address on file to avoid delay in payment. Next page, please. And I'm not seeing the next page, 2 of the post-award and payment provisions. Here we go. Thank you. So page 2 of the post-award and payment provisions. Next page, please. HCAI cannot provide tax advice to grantees. You can go back 1 page. Thank you. There we go. HCAI are not tax professionals, and tax consequences may vary depending on the grantee. For this reason, grantees should seek professional tax advice. HCAI reserves the right to recover monies for a grantee's failure to perform service and other grant agreement obligations. Next slide, please. The evaluation and scoring procedures for the Wellness Coach Scholarship Program. The application evaluation criteria includes the following: income-based financial situation, experience working in an underserved area or with underserved groups, experience with homelessness, experience with the foster care or child welfare system, first-generation college students, languages spoken, and an academic setting, preferences given to attendance at a California community college, California State University, and the University of California. Next slide, please. The grant application resources. On the website, you can find resources and review the Wellness Coach Scholarship Program Grant Guide before starting the online application. You can review the Wellness Coach Scholarship Program Technical Assistance Guide before starting the application. And the application is the 2024 to 2025 WCSP online application. For more information, you can email our department at Behavioral Health Programs at the BH Programs at hcai.ca.gov. And for other questions, you can also email the Wellness Coach Program, and the Wellness Coach Program email address will be provided in the chat. So if you can also check out HCAI's funding eligibility tool on our website. Next slide, please. And now we come to questions and answers, and I'm turning it over to Chris, our communication analyst. Thank you.
Thank you, Diana. As you can see, our team has put a lot of work into this program, and we're really excited that you've joined us today to learn more. We are going to transition to our question and answer session, and the chat option should be open now and accessible in the menu bar at the top of your screen. We do understand that some of you may not be able to access the chat feature in the browser version of Teams due to your organization's profile restrictions. Some people find that the mobile version does provide chat access, so please try that if it's not working. If you are still unable to access the chat feature, please email your questions to bhprograms@hci.ca.gov. Thank you for your understanding in this. We will do our best to answer all of the questions in the order that they are received. Towards the end, we will also have people answering simpler questions in the chat. Also, we do ask that you do not raise your hand. We will not be able to answer hand-raised questions. Please enter your questions in the chat or email us. All right, and with that, first question, what is the difference between a certified wellness coach and an LPCC?
Hi, I'll answer that question. It's kind of complicated. So a licensed professional clinical counselor is someone who requires a master's degree and approval by the Board of Behavioral Sciences. A wellness coach is an associate or bachelor degree program that is certified by our department.
All right, thank you, Anne. Next question. Sabrina asks, where can I find my NPI?
I'll try and answer that again. So the National Provider Index, I believe it's called, is you go to their website once you are a certified wellness coach and you are assigned a number. It's after you graduate and after you're certified.
Oh, Christian, you are muted.
Hi. Oh, sorry about that, everybody. If the person was talking about the MPI portion of the application where they have to input a national provider, I can't remember the last thing in the acronym. You may not have one if you're not a licensed professional already. And if that's so, there's a box that you can click that's not applicable to you, and you just click that and you don't have to enter any information.
Thank you, Christian, for that clarification. Next question, Gina asks, what is the scoring range?
Hi there, I'm Jessica Fifield. I work here at HCAI and support from some of the scoring. The scoring range for this program can be as little as 0 and as high as 75 points.
All right, thank you, Jessica. Tamika asks, who do you choose a school to provide your service? I'm guessing that's how do you choose a school to provide your service?
I'll jump in here. So the way this works is it's like any profession. You complete your school work, get your degree, and then look for jobs in the education system or education related organizations. So there's nothing especially different. It's a matter of applying to different K through 12 schools, or community colleges or universities can also hire wellness coaches.
Thank you, Anne. Lacey asks, what if I already have a degree in recreational therapy and work in mental health? How do I bridge to wellness coach?
You may currently be eligible to be a wellness coach depending on your degree background. You can go to our wellness coach website to see if you'll be eligible. The eligibility requirements will be listed there. You can also, if for some reason you don't possess this degree, you can apply for this scholarship program that we've talked about and go ahead and go get that degree.
Thank you, Christian. Catherine asks, would a public health major qualify?
It does not. We recognize social work, addiction studies, and human service degrees at this stage.
Thank you, Anne. Jamie asks, does the recipient need to be enrolled full-time? If not, what is the minimum credits or time they need to be enrolled?
I can answer that one. Enrollment does have to be full-time. It has to be at least 6 semester units at a minimum, or the equivalent. but it does have to be at least 6 semester units.
Perfect. Thank you, Diana. Alicia asks, hi, I have a BS in psychology and finishing a community studies certificate at Sac City College. Am I eligible?
You could be eligible to be a coach right now, depending on how much work experience you have. We would urge you, we'll drop in the chat the full website where you can explore your certification options.
All right, thank you. All right, Kanisha asks, can we be concurrently enrolled in an associate degree program?
For our purposes, we only care that you are enrolled in one of the majors that makes you eligible for the program. You can be concurrently enrolled in other kinds of degree programs as long as you are also enrolled in the program that leads to wellness coach certification. Keep in mind, if you're concurrently enrolled in other types of programs, you will eventually have to work as a wellness coach to serve your service obligation for this program. So if your intention is that you will leave college and do something other than become a wellness coach, I wouldn't apply for the scholarship.
All right, thank you. I have a BA in anthropology and is teaching English as a second language. Am I ineligible to apply?
Yes, you would be. And to follow up on Christian's comments about concurrent enrollment, there's also such a thing as dual enrollment in high school, where you may be taking high school credits to finish your high school diploma, get your high school diploma, and then at the same time enroll in community college. And we recognize that as long as you're taking that 6 units at the community college.
Thank you, Anne. Noel asks, if you are working in the field and have a BSHS, what is the certification process after requirements are met?
Can you repeat the question, Chris? I'm not finding it in the chat. I missed it.
If you are working in the field and have a BSHS, what is the certification process after the requirements are met?
I'm not sure what a BHS, BSHS is. If you're talking about social work, again, we would encourage you to check out the wellnesscoach.org website that I dropped into the chat to find out if you're not already qualified.
All right, thank you, Anne. Let's see, next question. What is the difference between a community outreach worker?
Community outreach workers, we tend to think of as community health workers, and they are require a high school diploma and being 18 or older. We require an associate or bachelor degree to become a wellness coach. So the idea is that they have more training.
Perfect, thank you. All right, Christina asks, does the 400 hours count with the 800?
Yes, the 8 hours is a complicated concept. So 400 hours is what's required for full certification as a wellness coach, associate level education. That's a wellness coach 1. It's 800 hours for wellness coach 2. We recognize that first 400 hours as part of that 800 total for the bachelor level. So it would apply.
Thanks, Ma'am. All right, Nam asks, I'm a national board certified health and wellness coach, National Board of Medical Examiners with a MPH. Is that eligible for the work path accreditation, or do I have to go through a program?
Unfortunately, you would have to go through a program. Right now, the additional degrees for the workforce path way are sociology, psychology, and child or human development. And if you want to send an email to our box that we'll drop it in again later, we can describe in greater detail that plan.
All right, thank you, Ann. Jasmine asks, what is the difference between the Behavioral Health Scholarship Program and the Wellness Coach Scholarship Program?
So the biggest difference, sorry, Diana, is that the wellness coach is specifically for people wanting to become a wellness coach, as opposed to the other kinds of behavioral health professional aspirations you would have under the BHSP eligibility. And BHSP does not include wellness coach as a profession because we have this carved out special scholarship program.
And I will just add, frankly, it's easier to receive the Wellness Coach Scholarship because we have a lot more money towards the scholarship available to fund it, whereas BHSP does not have quite so much funds dedicated towards it this cycle. So if you're just looking purely probabilistically applying for the scholarship, it's more likely that you would receive it.
Good, thank you. Sonia asks, so would an LPCC be used at the crisis referral level?
Can you repeat the question, Chris? I'm not keeping up again.
That's okay. Would an LPCC be used at the crisis referral level? I believe this is in reference to the difference between.
Yes. So if there were a student that presented with clinical needs, the wellness coach would definitely make an immediate referral to someone with a clinical degree. Yes.
Okay. What if you already have a BA in human development and want to get a master's degree with the scholarship?
That's not an option. We're looking for wellness coach 1s and wellness coach 2s. You're qualified right now to become a wellness coach 2 if you have the work hours. So we definitely encourage you to visit cawellnesscoach.org and learn more about that certification opportunity.
Yeah. All right, thank you, Anne. Let's see. Jose asks, I currently work as a case manager with CBO housing program. Do I still need an employer letter from my current employer, even if they don't plan on hiring me as a wellness coach?
I could answer that. We would require the historical information that you are currently employed as part of your application. So yes, please complete your information with your current employment. Thank you.
Thank you, Diana. All right, this next one, there's a screenshot to help reference the question. And it asks, which do I select if I am still in undergraduate school and still cannot qualify to be accepted? And this question is from Adriana.
So if you're waiting for acceptance, what matters is if you believe that you would be eligible, it's that you would not get the award until we had some documentation of your admission to the school. If you would email us more detail, we'll respond to your specific situation. And that email would go to the BH programs at hci.ca.gov.
All right, thank you, Anne. Chantel asks, I currently go to school online for my bachelor's in preclinical psychology. The school is not physically in California. Does this still qualify?
Unfortunately, no. The school does have to be in California. It has to have at least a headquarters, mailing address, that it is in California. It can be an online California school or an in-person California school, but it must be in California. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Sabrina asks, are new positions going to come available to the school district for this position?
So I'm going to venture as to what you're asking is, are there positions at universities and colleges for admissions? That is a decision made by each campus. We are of the understanding that certainly at the associate level, there are no limitations on admissions. As well as you obviously would need to be accepted into a bachelor program, but it's not specific to the degree yet.
And then I'll just add one more tidbit. In addition to thinking about, what positions are going to open at schools for people to enroll into programs such as this, HCAI is also supporting efforts by K through 12 educational agencies, LEAs, school districts to help them create opportunities to hire wellness coaches. So what employment opportunities will be in the future, certainly we don't know for sure, but that is part of our overall effort, is to support them to be able to create those positions and hire and employ and provide services with new wellness coaches.
Thank you, Jessica. Andrea asks, my major is psychology. Would that qualify? You can find the list of qualifying associate and bachelor degrees on slide 20. And it's addiction studies, human services, and social work. I know we have a number of questions asking about does my major qualify? And so on slide 20, you can find the list that are eligible. Anna, Diana, anything else you want to add?
Yeah, this slide deck will be available later, about a week or so after this webinar.
All right. And next question is one we can't really answer, the pay scale for Coach 1 and Coach 2. Is there anything else you want to add to that?
It's a complicated answer. This is a brand new profession, so we frankly don't know what the salaries are. We can tell you that we have some estimates based on grant making that we're planning in other areas, between 40 and 55,000 a year. But that's an estimate and it's very uncertain. The funding that we will make would support about that level of salary in our grant making that we have planned.
All right, thank you. All right, Elena asks, I have over 23 years of working with kids, school-based, doing everything a wellness coach will be doing. I have a BA in criminal justice and some coursework in sociology. There isn't a question there, but it sounds like that would be go to CA Wellness Coach.
Correct. They should email wellnesscoach.hci or at hci.ca.gov. I'll put that address in again in the chat.
All right, thank you. Will there be a different webinar to answer questions about the workforce pathway?
We're actually discussing that option right now, so stay tuned.
Right. Can you get a deferral if you want to pursue a graduate degree?
We're exploring that option, but at this time, it's not something we're entertaining.
All right. Some universities have not been approved to start the Wellness Coach program, so will scholarships be available later for those who may attend a program that isn't initiated or approved to offer the Wellness Coach until later?
We are in the process of working with universities and colleges to designate them for the Wellness Coach curriculum. We would really support and encourage you in applying now for this. And part of the follow-up we'll be doing with grantees is to describe the process by which you can be sure you take the necessary coursework for certification in these 3 degrees.
Okay. Next question. I am with the CSU program and we will apply for HCAI funding from the CSU. If we wait until this process is done, the deadline for students to apply will be gone. We are not sure of whether to start advertising this opportunity to our students or wait until the educational program funding is done. Any suggestions?
Please email our mailbox at hci.ca.gov, and we'll pursue this conversation further at that time.
Thank you. Is ABA experience considered relatable to hours of field experience?
I'm sorry, what kind of experience, Chris?
ABA.
I think it depends on your degree, first of all, and then the kind of work you were doing. It could apply. I'll drop the website that you should look at to get further information in the chat.
Thank you. Does the full year of expenses mean the 9-month school year or the 12 months after I begin my next year of schooling?
I can answer this, Ann. So that money, the 35K max, we calculated that so that if you also received a Pell Grant, meaning nobody was helping you with your college expenses, such as your parents, that it would last you an entire year of cost of living. So it's not just 9 months, it's for the whole year. But obviously not everybody is going to receive the Pell Grant, and it's up to you to stretch the money that we give you if we give you $35,000.
All right, thank you, Christian. Let's see. Sakina asks, I'm an older student. Do I qualify to become a coach? How do we train as a wellness coach?
After you take your coursework, or as part of your coursework are internships or field placements, and that is intended for you to be working in settings where you would practice and gain that experience. And those that's very important because those hours also account, I believe, for a wellness coach certification. Though check our website to be sure on that part.
Thank you, Ann. All right. Brianna asks, hello, I have recently finished my AA in social work and am interested in the certification. I was on the website looking at the application, but it asks for a CWC1 instructor verification for. However, it sounds as though there is not an instruction course through this program, but with a college or university instead. Who signs off on this form? I'm also wondering, does the 1-year commitment only apply to the scholarship or does it apply to the general certification?
It applies to the scholarship. Regarding the certification questions you're posing, please email us at hcai.ca.gov, and we can explore that more thoroughly with you. I think this is a good time to just say, if you have questions relating to certification, please email us, because really what we're talking about today are students seeking scholarships to become wellness coaches. Thanks.
What human service degrees are recognized? Again, that was on slide 21. Next question, when will the certification site be up and running or estimated to be up and running? That is already up, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, that's correct. You should be able to go to the site now and start the process. And then if you have questions for us, go ahead and utilize the mailbox Ann has mentioned.
What is the difference between a community health worker and a wellness coach?
Community health worker requires a high school diploma and no college coursework. A wellness coach requires an associate or bachelor degree.
All right. Tamika Thomas, I see your question, and I think this one falls under what Ann was talking about, emailing us directly. So please email that question to us. Same for Sabrina. Astorga. Okay, here's Sakina asks, when we get the degree, how do we apply for a job? Will someone train us?
I think I answered that, but I'll say again, it's
Oh, you dropped out, Anne.
sorry.
Your audio dropped for a second there.
Oh, my apologies. This is the same question we answered before, that you would get that experience as an intern or during a field placement during your studies.
All right. Let's see. Emily asks, I have a staff that are employed as education specialists and provide the same prevention services as wellness coaches. Do you recommend that they get certified and they're able to be supervised by the behavioral health prevention unit program manager and or supervisors that are not licensed therapists? Is that another email us question?
Yes, please.
Yeah, Emily, go ahead and email us and we're happy to help you with that. Once again, wellness coaches at hci.ca.gov. Let's see. Next question, just trying to look for ones that relate to the scholarship. If I do the certification, since I may be able to do the wellness coach certification with my Bachelor of Science in Psych, would I be able to participate in the scholarship portion?
Not if you've already completed your education.
Next question, do I need to be finished in BA school in social work online, or can I apply while I am halfway through and working full-time as a community schools coordinator?
So it depends on where your school is if it's in California. If it is, yes, you could be qualified.
Jose asks, the application appears to require your school to provide both scholarship program verification and an estimated cost of attendance. Would my school's registrar's office complete both the documents for me?
No, only the first document, the income or your cost of attendance form is something you complete and submit on your own as part of the application.
All right. Christina asks, I have an AA in criminal justice and working on an AA in addiction studies. Would one or both qualify me?
The associate degree in addiction studies. Sorry, Diana, I'm covering a lot of your territory.
Stephanie asks, I am just finishing my BA in Human Services, focusing on mental health. I graduate in May 2024, and I am a certified drug and alcohol school. So will I just enroll at the Cal State Dominguez website?
If you've already, go ahead, Diana.
I was just going to state, thank you, Anne. You do need to be enrolled or will be enrolled in school in September of 2024. So if you are graduating prior to that, you may not be eligible for the scholarship.
Thank you. Is this similar to a peer support specialist role?
No, peer support specialist requires a high school diploma. In order to be a wellness coach, you need an associate or bachelor degree, for which this scholarship is available to help pay for your educational and related costs.
Thank you. Jose asks, your December 2023 press release on this new initiative notes that, quote, curriculum will be available in fall 2024. Will you have to take these courses to be certified as a wellness coach?
We have proposed curriculum, and that is available. We'll provide more information to successful scholarship awardees about that after we've concluded this scholarship solicitation process.
All right, thank you. Sakina asks, I'm an older student. Is there an age range to becoming a coach? I noticed you talked about young people.
There is not.
Let's see. How do you get your hours if you're not already working in the field but trying to find a job in the field?
Please direct your question to the wellness coach at hcai.ca.gov email, and we'll explore that further with you.
Thank you. Jasmine, do we need to sign up for school first before applying for the scholarship, or can we apply for the scholarship with the intent of applying for school if the scholarship is received?
I can answer that. You have to be enrolled in school in a program by September 30th of 2024. So if you haven't applied to a program, chances are that you may not be accepted into a program by September 2024. Could be that you're AA or at a community college, you have until later in the summer to apply. So whatever it might be, you just have to be certain that you're going to be in a program to accept the scholarship, apply and accept the scholarship, be in a program by September 2024.
Thank you, Diana. I have a question here from Tiffany. Tiffany, this one does look like it's related to becoming certified as a wellness coach, not the scholarship. Go ahead and email us on that question in regard to the 1,000 of hours that you have currently working for DHSS, or previously working, excuse me. We'll be able to help you on that one. Next question is, do we have today's session recorded? We are recording this. We will send this out within 7 to 10 business days. It will also be available on our webpage. And then let's see. Tamara asks, are school-based wellness centers the only option for the required 12-month service commitment, or might there be other settings through public agencies that could fulfill that requirement?
Please refer to the grant guide, which lists the range of organizations where you could satisfy your 12-month obligation.
And I think the next question relates to that as well. What are the requirements for direct client care and qualified work sites? Does the job title have to be certified wellness coach to meet the obligation? If so, is there a plan with LEAs to convert existing similar positions such as wellness center liaison?
What matters to us is that you're certified. And if you'll email us for details, we can follow up with you. Email wellnesscoach@hcai.ca.gov. And while I have the floor for a moment, I did want to correct information I shared earlier about potential salary ranges. So the program that we hope to fund shortly will offer salaries closer to 53,500 to 63,500. So those are very generous salaries for this new profession. And I appreciate my colleague for correcting me.
Thank you, Anne. Let's see. Do you know if wellness coach services are reimbursed by insurance?
That is the goal. And we hope to have that in place within the next year.
All right. I'm getting my AA and I have no experience. Do I need 400 hours of volunteer or 150 as a student?
You may be qualified for a scholarship depending on the degree that you're seeking. Again, that's social work, addiction studies, and human services.
All right, thank you. This is an interesting question. What is the difference between HCAI and the wellness coach course?
HCAI is an agency. We're Healthcare Access and Information is the name of our department. The second part of that question again, Chris?
The wellness coach course.
There is no wellness coach course per se. Wellness coach curriculum is courses that are associated with the associate or bachelor degree requirements for certification.
Yeah, I just want to add to what Anne has here. So the difference between an HCAI certification to be a wellness coach and maybe some other certifications to be a wellness coach that you've seen online is, one, this is a state certification. You're getting it from a state body, and eventually this will be the premier wellness coach certification that you can have. It already is, actually. And this is the only certification that will qualify you to serve children and youth at these specific sites and these specific organizations that are going to be employing wellness coaches. And this is the only certification that's behavioral health related. This is for a behavioral health job that's going to bridge you in between a peer support specialist, which doesn't require any education at all the way up to you can get into this profession and then you can go to graduate school afterward because you have a bachelor's degree in behavioral health. This is a behavioral health role. It may not sound like it because we call it a certified wellness coach or a wellness coach, but this is a behavioral health role that we're rolling out across the state.
We would urge you to view the film again if you want to understand that role a little more. And that information, the link to that film is available at the website that I'll drop in the chat right now.
Thank you, Anne and Christian, for that clarification. When will we know if we are awarded the money for the scholarship?
I can answer that. So the term contract or the contract term should begin in August of 2024. So it may take anywhere up to 90 days from the time that the contract is initiated for you to receive the funding. Thank you.
Thank you, Diana. Roseanne says, thank you for the webinar. I will be sharing with others. Please do, Roseanne. We appreciate that. And spread this word to anybody that you think would be interested in this scholarship. We want to support the upcoming community with this funding. Let's see. I will be done with my AA in May 2024. Will there be a scholarship available if I want to get a bachelor's for Wellness Coach 2?
Yes, if you are admitted to school and are enrolled by the time you receive an award offer.
Okay. Rian is asking, is a social and behavioral sciences degree eligible for the scholarship?
Please email us to at the mailbox BH programs at HCAI.ca.gov, and we will talk with you further about that option.
All right, and this might help clarify some of the confusion that's out there as well. Is the scholarship only available for the education pathway? I see under the workforce pathway, other degrees are accepted but are not available for the scholarship.
Yes, this is a scholarship to support your education in an associate or bachelor degree, social work, addiction studies, or human services program.
All right, thank you. Okay. Another interesting question. Can a scholarship apply to an agency to offer this certification to employees, or is this individual application only?
It's an individual application only. We would encourage you, if you have employees, to alert them to this opportunity so that they can apply. Thank you.
Let's see. Applicants may wonder if there are specific requirements for their educational placement internship during a BA program. Is there somewhere they can find this information to minimize the high number of potential applicants contacting faculty?
Thank you for that question. It's important. We would definitely suggest that you review the grant guide closely to look at the types of organizations that we have listed there where you would get experience. Again, this is behavioral health prevention and early intervention services with children and youth through age 25. So that's who you're going to look to, an organization, to see if they would be willing to take a placement or an intern before you and talk to your, I'm sorry, Ronnie, you'll need to get some direction from your faculty as to whether or not it's a recognized placement.
All right, thank you. And it does look like we've come to the end of the questions. If there are more questions, please get those in the chat now. We do have a little bit of extra time in the webinar, so if you do have questions, go ahead and ask them. And it looks like Clinton has something to add to the conversation.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Clinton. I'm the program manager over this. If I could direct you, in our website, we have helpful resources, which includes the grant guide and then also a technical assistance guide to help you navigate through your application. Furthermore, we understand that there's going to be some people who are going to be asking us questions via the email. If you can, please allow us up to 24 hours to respond to your email, because you may not be aware of this, but we did a couple other webinars this week, and we have a tremendous backlog of emails that we're working through. We will get to your question, but please be patient with us. If we don't answer promptly, it's not because we're ignoring you. We just have a lot of work to do. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you so much for attending.
Thank you, Clinton. One other question. I think we did answer this before, but may not have heard the answer to it. Since I'm older, does it make sense to apply?
Yes, we welcome all applications.
I was like, I'll take it. Yes, if you want to be a wellness coach and you're planning to go to school, you meet the eligibility requirements, yeah, and you're going to work as a wellness coach. Our goal is to support, the diversity of the state with these scholarships and programs, including age diversity. Also, some of us are older too, depending on how you're defining that. So, yes, all ages. Welcome, as long as you can meet the other eligibility requirements. Maybe if you're 2, I don't know if you can get into college, so maybe you won't meet the other things, but older, absolutely.
Yeah, I did want to add that this comes actually directly from the top down on this. That we do not we're not just looking for young people to do this. This is something that is open to all ages. So absolutely, apply please. Once again, the webinar is being recorded. It will be posted on the website, and we will also email it out once it is available to everybody who registered for this webinar. Typically takes us 7 to 10 business days to get that out. Let's see. Brittany is asking, I currently work as a wellness program assistant with the Office of Education. I have an NPI as a mental health worker, but I have a BA in English studies. Are you saying I would have to get an additional associate or bachelor's degree in order to work as a wellness coach, or just for the scholarship?
Unfortunately, yes, it is likely that you would have to get your associate's degree in one of the eligible categories for the education pathway. But that's precisely why we have this scholarships for people like you in your situation, where this can provide you money as you are able to get that degree.
All right, thank you, Christian. Any more questions that we have? Again, the resources are pinned into the chat. At the top, you'll find the website, the grant guide, the technical assistance guide, link to the application, our funding eligibility tool, as well as the website for that. Also do encourage you to go to our informational website for wellness coaches, cawellnesscoach.org. All of those can be found in the chat. Where can we look to find where there will be wellness coach positions available? I believe we've mentioned that the places will, in the grant guide, there's a list of places to look for the types of organizations that will be offering that. Is that correct, Diana? Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Anything else? These are great questions. We really appreciate everybody's participation with us today. Give another minute here if anybody has a question. Thank you. Page 4 and 5 of the grant guide. Appreciate that. And as one more reminder, anybody who is registered for this webinar will be receiving an email with the slide deck and a recording of the webinar. We'll go ahead and close the question and answer session at this point. Thank you all for your participation. We really value your participation in these questions, really help us make sure that we provide a great service to you. That is our goal. If you do have any other questions, please email the team at bhprograms@hcai.ca.gov. And as a reminder, we will be posting all of this and sending it to you in 7 to 10 business days. Now, Dr. Shaw will provide some closing remarks.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you to our wellness coach and grants team, and again to all of you for spending your valuable time with us today. We are so very hopeful that you see the impact the certified wellness coach can make, and after today have received important information that will help you apply for this scholarship and make a valuable contribution to the health and well-being of our young people. On behalf of our team, myself, and HCAI executive leadership, we thank you. I will now turn it over to Chris to wrap us up.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Shaw. Let's see, get caught up on our slides here. All right, so well, we do appreciate everybody joining us today to learn more about the Wellness Coach Scholarship Program. We are excited to be able to offer it as just one part of all of the health workforce development efforts at HCAI and are grateful for your participation with us today. We do have some resource slides that we would like you to look at, and you'll see those hopefully popping up here in a second. Go to the next two slides, advanced two slides, and we'll have those resources. You can follow us on social media, and you can find all of the different ways of following us with those. Still not seeing the right slide up. I don't know if it is just frozen on my end. Anyways, you can follow us on social media and go to our website. Additionally, you can subscribe to our newsletter and on our webpage and find out, stay in touch with everything that we have going on at HCAI. Lastly, you can contact us by phone at 916-326-3700. You can email us at bhprograms@hcai.ca.gov. We do thank you for joining us today. We encourage you to go to the website to discover everything that we have. As a reminder, the application cycle closes May 24th. Thank you so much for attending. And with that, we conclude today's webinar. Have a wonderful day.